Are you looking to move to Atlantic Beach, North Carolina? In this video, we're gonna go over the pros and the cons of living in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. If you're looking in this area, the real estate market is technically in a balanced market right now. The average sales price is $800,000. So if you're still interested, let's get into it. If this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything about living in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina, then subscribe below, tap that bell for notifications so that you can be the first to know about the current real estate market in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. My name is Walt and I'm with Real, and I get calls from folks just like you every day. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 9 months, feel free to reach out. All my contact information is below in the description box below. I'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. Okay, so I told you that we would talk about the pros and the cons of Atlantic Beach. So let's start with the good stuff. I'm here at Fort Macon State Park and it's completely free. It's at the end of Atlantic Beach on the east end, and they do take donations if you walk in and take a look at the fort and everything. But I'm actually here right now on one of the cool aspects of Fort Macon. It's called the Elliott Coues Trail. It's a 3.2 mile loop, and on the ocean side, which I'm about to be at, it kind of loops through the dunes, and it has, at one point, has a panoramic view of the ocean, which is really cool. The sound side part of the Elliott Coues Trail offers a little bit more shade under the live oaks, and it also has some wildlife like lookout spots that you can stop and kind of, you know, bird watch or take a look at whatever wildlife is around. As you come up to Fort Macon, if you take the first right, there's a huge parking lot, plenty of parking spaces, and there's bathrooms as well as wash stations. So if you go out onto the beach, then you can wash off all the sand before you get back into your car. The fort itself was built in the 1800s during the Civil War. So if you are a history buff, then you're gonna come wanna check this out. If you're a fisherman, you're gonna enjoy the next pro, which is the Beaufort Inlet. It's right next to the Fort Macon State Park in Atlantic Beach and connects the Bogue Sound to the Atlantic Ocean. All of the big offshore charter boats that you see that are docked in Beaufort, Morehead City, Atlantic Beach, all use the Beaufort Inlet to get to the deeper waters and also out to the Gulf Stream. The Big Rock Blue Marlin fishing tournament is right around the corner. The women's division, KWLA, starts June 6th and is all weekend, so June 6th to the 8th. And then the main event starts June 9th and goes all the way to June 14th. If you are a spectator like me and not actually fishing in the tournament, you can listen to the Big Rock radio. They have that on their website and you can kind of listen in. They also keep their Facebook page up to date. They tell you when a boat has a fish hooked, and then they also tell you when a fish has been boated, and they'll give you an ETA of when they're going to be in the back to the docks in Morehead City. Let's just say Breakwater Charters has boated a fish and their ETA is 3 o'clock. Well, then you're gonna see a rush of people that come down to the Big Rock Landing, downtown Morehead City, to watch that fish come in, and they hoist it up and then they weigh the fish and they announce the weight of the fish, and then, you know, are they in first place, second place? And so it's really exciting to see the energy of the crowd. You can get close enough and feel the nerves of the folks that are on the boat because they're like, you know, is this fish big enough? Actually, just a little story. Our neighbors, Ashley Forrest, he owns Breakwater Charters, and he had boated a fish a couple years back, and I was working, but I had Facebook pulled up and I saw where he was coming in. So we went down to the docks, and one of our other neighbors was there, and we basically just pretended to be one of Ashley's like family members, and we got up like into like the VIP area. I mean, we were up there right where like they were hoisting up the fish. I mean, you could just tell. Ashley was super excited because as a captain, I would imagine that, you know, bringing in a fish that's 400 to 1,000 pounds and just hearing the crowd go wild and, you know, seeing them hoist up the fish has got to be a really cool feeling for him and kind of like a pinnacle for his career, I would think. So anyways, it's super cool. If you can get down here in June and see that, it's a really great experience for your family. It doesn't cost anything either. You can walk right down, you can park somewhere downtown Morehead City and walk down to the docks and watch these big fish being weighed. So it's really cool. Okay, so the last pro I have for you is that there are plenty of public beach accesses and public parking all along Atlantic Beach. So Fort Macon is free and has, you know, plenty of parking, as you can see behind me there. Another parking area that I like to go to is Memorial Park, which is on the other end of Atlantic Beach. And there's a lot of little tiny parking spots or parking areas with picnic tables like this. You just have to know where to go. So if you're interested in more of those, then DM me. I'll be happy to share some of the other areas that I know of that you can park at. There are some parking that's at the Circle. You have to pay to park there. There's another one just past the Dunes Club where you also have to pay to park. But those are great areas too, and it's worth it. So that's the last pro I got for you. So let's get into the negatives of living in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. So first off, there's not a lot to do for kids. The Circle is gone. That used to have like go-karts. It used to have a Ferris wheel or something like that, or one of those things that like slingshot thing. Lots of little things to do for the family. You could just like go down there and spend the evening. Also, Jungle Land is gone. There's condos where Jungle Land used to be. So side note, if you want one of those condos, I can get you one. Yeah, I guess amusement parks were not the highest and best use for the land there where Jungle Land and the Circle used to be. My point is there's not a whole lot to do for kids. A few of the things that you can do is the Atlantic Beach Park. They have a skate park as well as a splash pad. There's the movie theater that's right across the street from that. There's Atlantic Beach jet skis for rentals. I imagine they probably have kayak rentals, you know, kind of get you out on the water. And there's also the beach. So really, Atlantic Beach forces you to just kind of be with your family. If you're renting a beach house or anything like that, or if you live here, playing games at the house, cards, board games, you know, things like that is also something to do with the kids. The second con is it's an island. So there's only one way on and one way off. Not including, you know, driving all the way down to Emerald Isle. That would be technically two. So there's one way on, one way off. And so the traffic in the summertime can be pretty bad. Another con is that there's only one grocery store, which is Food Lion. My advice is don't get caught there on Friday afternoon or on Saturday. You have to plan your trips to Food Lion if that's where you're gonna go shop. Other than that, you can go over the bridge into Morehead City. You have, you know, Lowe's Foods, you have Walmart, you have Harris Teeter, you have Lidl over there. On your way in, you could stop in the ones in Morehead City and then get to your house. Or just plan a trip to Morehead City during the week, and that would kind of alleviate some of the groceries. Also, there's a place called Island Produce, which is right as you come on to Atlantic Beach on the right. They have really good vegetables, fruits, and they have seasonal watermelons. So that's kind of what we go to that for. If I'm hungry and it's kind of late in the afternoon, I'll actually stop there and grab a snack. They have like kombucha and some healthier like snacks as well. If you have a green thumb, then living on the waterfront can be a harsh environment for vegetation. And river rock and palm trees are your best friend. Not a lot grows when you're right on the water. I don't know if it's just all the sun and the wind, but if you're 2 or 3 rows off the ocean, then I guess the sun and the wind isn't as bad, and you can have a garden or raised beds and even landscaping. Well, that's it for the pros and cons of living in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.